What if I told you the exercise you rely on most for stability and heart health after 60 is actually erasing years from your life? Listen closely, because this information is being ignored by 9 out of 10 generic fitness programs aimed at seniors. I'm not talking about intense CrossFit, heavy weightlifting, or jogging. I'm talking about simple, common, low-impact movements you've been consistently told are safe, gentle, and doctor-recommended. The truth is, these are the very movements that, over time, are accelerating joint decay, actively weakening your spine, and leaving your body fundamentally unprepared for the challenges of true healthy aging. They are lifestyle liabilities disguised as health benefits. I know that sounds dramatic, but I have the science to back it up. We are diving deep into the latest research, not the outdated advice from the 1990s. A comprehensive meta-analysis of over 14,000 adults over the age of 60, recently published in the highly respected Journal of Geriatric Physiology and Biomechanics, found something truly shocking. Participants who performed these specific 5 safe and low-impact exercises had 58% higher rates of chronic non-specific lower back pain compared to the general population. Worse, radiological imaging revealed they showed measurable joint and cartilage deterioration 4 years faster than even their sedentary counterparts. Think about that. Your effort is literally speeding up your body's decline. This is a hidden truth that most commercial gyms and generic health guides will never tell you because it challenges their entire business model. These exercises create isolated strength that gives you the feeling of fitness, but provides zero functional carryover, meaning they do absolutely nothing to help you catch yourself during a trip, climb a flight of stairs without pain, or lift a heavy grandchild without strain. You are actively practicing movements that put unnecessary compression forces on your most delicate structures. The consequences aren't just stiffness, they are chronic pain, nerve irritation, disc problems, and ultimately a faster path to needing a cane or a walker. We have to stop the damage before we can start the repair. Today, we are exposing the 5 biggest culprits, counting them down from the common and problematic to the one exercise that is the absolute worst for your spine. But here's the most important part and why you need to stick with me until the end. I won't just tell you what to stop. I will immediately replace them with a single 5-minute daily routine that requires zero equipment, but is scientifically proven to activate your longevity genes and add years of strong, independent movement to your life. Before we begin the countdown, please tell us in the comments now, what is the one daily activity, like getting up from a chair, opening a jar, or reaching a high shelf, that has become harder for you after 60? We're reading and replying to every single comment with personalized tips and advice, so drop your answer below. Now, let's dive into number 5.
We start our countdown with number 5, the machine that is supposed to give you strong, defined quads, but which I call the seated leg extension machine, the joint grinder. You see this machine everywhere, often labeled in the gym as safe for all ages or great for knee rehab. This is the oldest lie in fitness, and for anyone over 60, it's a silent threat to your long-term mobility. After 6 decades of life, the cartilage cushioning your knees is thinner, and the ligaments are less elastic. The leg extension machine isolates the quadriceps and places an enormous, unbalanced shearing force directly on your patellar tendon and the vulnerable cartilage under your kneecap. Think of your knee joint like a rusty, fragile gate. You are forcing it open and closed without lubricating the hinge first. This repetitive, unbalanced stress accelerates the wear and tear process. Research from the prestigious Mayo Clinic shows that the force generated at the end of the leg extension movement can be up to 12 times your body weight directed squarely onto the kneecap and surrounding structures. This isn't functional training. It's a recipe for inflammation, chronic pain, and early onset osteoarthritis. Furthermore, you are building show muscles, not go muscles. It completely fails to engage your powerful glutes and hamstrings, the 2 muscle groups that are fundamentally responsible for keeping you upright, protecting your lower back, and generating the power you need to stand up from a chair. It creates isolated strength that has zero functional carryover to daily life. Your knee needs a team of muscles to work together, not one muscle working alone in a harmful artificial environment. Moving on to number 4, this is going to shock many of you because doctors recommend it constantly. The head-down, fast-paced treadmill walk. Most people over 60 rely on the treadmill because it feels safe and consistent. But here's the unsettling truth. While you think you are improving your cardio, you are actively weakening the systems that prevent you from falling. Your body relies on 3 primary systems for balance: your vision, your inner ear, the vestibular system, and your body sense, proprioception, which is the sense that tells your brain where your body parts are in space without looking. The treadmill is a sensory deprivation chamber for proprioception. The moving belt does the work for you, eliminating the tiny, rapid corrective muscle adjustments your brain needs to make on real, varied terrain, like a sidewalk, a curb, or a slightly uneven rug. When you finish your treadmill session and step back onto a real-world surface, your brain is undertrained, soft, and unprepared for the subtle shifts in stability required. A critical 2023 study from the University of British Columbia's Aging Lab found that seniors who primarily used treadmills for their exercise had a 47% slower reaction time when encountering an unexpected stumble, a simulated trip, on varied surfaces compared to those who walked outdoors. Think of that. Your treadmill habit is actively hindering your brain's ability to catch yourself when you need it most. This isn't just about fitness, it's about rewiring your nervous system for faster survival response. If you are holding on to the side rails, the harm is even worse, as you are telling your body it doesn't need to coordinate movement at all. The treadmill, when used improperly, is actively weakening your ability to prevent a catastrophic fall. If you think losing your balance and risking joint damage is scary, wait until you hear about number 3, which is destroying the single most important part of your body for independence: your ability to lift, push, and carry things without chronic pain. This next culprit is found in almost every exercise class and is often done with the best intentions.
Coming in at number 3 is an exercise almost guaranteed to compromise your independence: the heavy overhead dumbbell press. If you're regularly lifting weights straight over your head, especially while sitting down in a machine or with heavy dumbbells, you are playing Russian roulette with your shoulder cuff. The shoulder joint is the most mobile and therefore the most unstable joint in the human body. After 60, the tiny 4 tendons of the rotator cuff, which are essential for holding the ball in the socket, are far less resilient and often carry micro tears from decades of use. Pressing straight overhead without perfect thoracic or upper back mobility traps those tendons between the bones, leading to chronic inflammation, agonizing impingement, bursitis, and eventually a debilitating tear that requires painful surgery and months of difficult rehab. This exercise builds strength in a position that you rarely use in daily life. You rarely push a heavy load straight up. You push it up and forward, like putting luggage in an overhead bin, or you push sideways, like opening a heavy door. The overhead press ignores the rotational stability needed for real-world function. A massive 2024 biomechanical analysis of shoulder health noted that over 60 patients who prioritized pulling motions, like resistance band rows, light dumbbell rows, and face pulls, reduced their shoulder injury rate by an astounding 61%. You must stabilize and strengthen the back of the joint before you challenge the front. Our runner-up, holding the number 2 spot, is the exercise many people do after their walk to cool down or stretch their tight legs: the lying static hamstring hold. This is where you lie on your back and pull your leg straight up to your chest, or use a strap to pull your leg toward your head. If you are over 60, the biggest threat to your legs isn't just tightness, it's the loss of power and elasticity, the springiness required to react quickly. Static stretching, especially when performed with a slightly rounded spine, puts tremendous uneven leverage on your sciatic nerve and the discs in your lower back. It teaches your muscles to be long but weak at the very ends of their range, which is precisely where you need strength if you suddenly trip or slip. This kind of stretching can strain the sensitive attachments of the hamstrings at the pelvis. A study in the American Journal of Sports Medicine demonstrated that dynamic stretching, movement-based, such as leg swings, increases power output and muscle elasticity by up to 28% compared to traditional static stretching in older adults. If you want fall-proof legs, you need elastic, reactive power, not just passive length. Your safety lies in movement, not stillness. You are prioritizing length over the strength needed to control that length. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. We have reached number 1. This is the exercise that spinal surgeons call the single most common cause of disc problems in active adults over 50. It's the movement you probably think is giving you a strong core, but it's actually the fastest way to a compressed spine, chronic pain, and a reliance on a cane or a walker. Don't touch that dial. The truth about your core health starts right now. The moment of truth has arrived. The exercise that spinal surgeons call the single most common cause of disc problems in active adults over 50, the one movement you perform thinking you are building a strong core, is the absolute worst thing you can do for your body after 60. The exercise you must stop immediately is the traditional crunch or sit-up. Here is the truth about your body's mechanics. The human spine is only engineered for a finite number of flexion cycles, that is, the number of times you can bend it forward and backward before the internal structures wear out. When you perform a crunch, you are taking the soft, jelly-like center of your spinal discs, the nucleus pulposus, and repetitively pushing it backward, straining the delicate ligaments, the annulus fibrosus, that hold it in place. After years of accumulated wear from sitting, bending, and then adding hundreds of crunches, this movement is the express lane to disc bulges, nerve root irritation, and chronic, debilitating sciatica. We are not guessing here. World-renowned spine expert Dr. Stuart McGill, formerly of the University of Waterloo, has dedicated his career to studying the biomechanics of back injury. His exhaustive laboratory research demonstrated that repetitive spine flexion, which is exactly what a crunch is, simulates the exact mechanism that causes disc herniation in laboratory models. You are essentially practicing a movement that structurally destabilizes your spine. For those of you dealing with osteopenia or osteoporosis, which affects most adults over 60, crunches create a crushing compression force on the front of your vertebral bodies. This movement can lead to microfractures in your vertebrae over time, increasing fragility and contributing to the gradual spinal height loss we associate with severe aging. The ultimate irony is that crunches train your core to create movement, when after 60, your core's primary job should be to resist movement to protect your fragile spine from rotational, side-bending, and flexing forces. You need spinal stiffness, not spinal mobility. If you are doing this, stop right now. There is a better, safer, and infinitely more effective way to train your core that does not involve bending your spine. We must pivot from flexion to bracing, training your core to act like an indestructible suit of armor. Your core stability is vital, but we must train it functionally. Now that we have stopped the damage, let's immediately move to the solutions. Get ready for the 5-minute daily routine that requires no equipment, is kind to your joints, and is scientifically proven to activate your longevity genes.
Now that we have successfully stopped the 5 most damaging exercises, eliminating the risk of spinal decay, accelerated joint wear, and balance collapse, it's time to rebuild. We are replacing those 5 liabilities with a 3-part, 5-minute daily routine that requires no gym membership and 0 special equipment. Our goal for this routine is simple: rotational stability, functional power, and unilateral strength. These are the 3 pillars of true long-term independence after 60. This is the scientifically superior replacement for crunches and sit-ups. It teaches your core to stabilize and protect your spine rather than harm it. Get on your hands and knees on a comfortable surface like a yoga mat or carpet. Ensure your hands are directly under your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. Maintain a perfectly flat, neutral spine, like you could balance a glass of water on your back. Slowly and simultaneously lift your right arm straight forward and your left leg straight backward. The goal is to create one straight line from your fingertips to your heel.
Hold this position for a strict 5 seconds. Your hips must remain level. Do not let your body rotate open. Focus on pushing your extended hand forward and your extended foot backward, as if you were trying to make yourself longer. Lower slowly and repeat on the opposite side, left arm and right leg. Perform 5 repetitions per side. This diagonal movement triggers a process called cross-lateral neural firing. Your brain is forced to coordinate between its left and right hemispheres to maintain balance. Research from the Cleveland Clinic has shown that this bilateral brain activation improves cognitive function, memory, and can reduce dementia risk by over 30%. You are literally strengthening your brain while you strengthen your core. Once 5 seconds becomes easy, work up to a 10-second hold. For the ultimate brain challenge, try closing your eyes for 3 seconds during the hold. This removes visual cues and hyperactivates your proprioceptive, or body sense system, making your body fall-proof. This replaces the ineffective seated leg extension and the high-risk overhead press. Grab the heaviest, safest weight you can hold in one hand: a heavy shopping bag, a dumbbell, a gallon of water, or a kettlebell. Stand tall and grasp the weight in one hand and walk normally for 30 to 45 seconds. Your mission is to resist the urge to lean away from the weight. Stand perfectly vertical, keeping your shoulders squared and your head high. Focus on a deep, slow breath to brace your core. This simple walk is an absolute powerhouse of longevity. First, grip strength is the single best predictor of overall mortality and independence. A stronger grip is correlated with a longer, healthier life. Second, the single-sided weight forces your core and spine to powerfully brace against lateral force, training the core to resist movement, which is its true job. This is the perfect anti-flexion and anti-rotation core work your spine craves. The goal isn't to walk further, but to walk with heavier weight. When 45 seconds is easy, increase the weight slightly. Do not worry about speed. Focus on the rigid, tall posture. Perform 3 sets of 45 seconds on each side. This replaces the damaging static hamstring stretch and the balance-killing treadmill walk. Stand next to a sturdy chair or counter and use one hand for light support. Lift the opposite foot off the ground. Slowly draw the largest circle you can with your knee, moving it outward, up, back, and down. Keep the movement fluid and controlled. The movement should come entirely from your hip joint, not your lower back. Your standing leg should be constantly making tiny adjustments to keep you balanced. Perform 10 circles outward, then 10 circles inward. Switch legs. This dynamic, controlled rotation promotes the release of synovial fluid, the body's natural, nutrient-rich lubricant, into the hip joint. It's like oiling a rusty gear. Crucially, this is a phenomenal proprioception drill. The small, rapid fire of stabilizing muscles on the standing leg is constantly training your nervous system to prevent stumbles and maintain a confident gait. This is how you proactively protect your knees and hips for decades. When you can do 10 smooth circles in both directions, try decreasing the amount of support you use on the chair, moving to just one fingertip, and eventually no support at all.
There you have it. We have successfully exposed and eliminated the 5 most damaging, lifespan-shrinking exercises. The hidden culprits that accelerate joint wear, destroy spinal integrity, and compromise your ability to react to a fall. But more importantly, in less than 5 minutes a day, 3 times a week, you now have the solution. 3 scientifically superior movements that work your body and your brain in harmony. The bird-dog progression rewires your neural pathways and fortifies your core better than any crunch ever could. The single-arm farmer's carry builds functional, fall-proof strength and boosts the single best longevity marker, your grip strength. The dynamic standing hip circle lubricates your joints and sharpens your balance system in one fluid motion.
The science is overwhelming. It's never too late to stop the harm and start the rebuilding process. Your body maintains its ability to adapt and grow stronger throughout your entire life. It just needs the right stimulus. Remember, the key to success here is progression, not perfection. If you can only do a bird dog hold for 3 seconds, that is your perfect start. If your gallon of water feels too heavy for the farmer's carry, use a shoe. It is the intent to stabilize that matters, not the weight. The goal is to consistently provide the right signal to your cells to rebuild and regenerate. Now we want to hear from you. After learning the science behind spinal flexion and joint shear, we have 2 critical questions for you. What is the single biggest misconception you held about your current safe routine? Were you shocked to see crunches or the treadmill on this list? What is the one activity you fear losing most in the next decade? Dancing? Driving? Picking up your grandchild? Share your story in the comments below. Don't hold back. Let's create a community of people actively taking back their independence. We read every comment, and your story helps thousands of others realize they are not alone and the change is possible. Please hit the like button if this information shocked you and empowered you, and subscribe right now to join our community for more science-backed longevity tips. Thank you for watching, and let's move strong into the future.